everyone, this is OpsterGaming here. Today I'll be making a video in Clash of Lords 2 on what the best damage dealers are. So what do I mean by damage dealers? Well, it's basically what the word means. It's the best heroes at dealing damage. By this I am mainly meaning how much damage they're dealing, so the heroes which damage the most amount of damage within the most limited amount of time. So you grab 30-second block, what heroes deal the most damage within that time. So whenever you go by damage dealing heroes, you got to include their attack, so the amount of damage they do, their crit rate, so what is their critical hit chance, and the speed of their attack. The speed of their attack is of course going to help to get as much damage in within a small amount of time as possible. So they're the three main key factors of damage dealers. It's their attack, amount of damage you're doing one single hit pretty much, their crit rate, and their speed. Same for a lot of games. Now, I'm going to start off with what I personally would say is the #1 damage dealer in the game. Some people might argue it's not, but I would believe that it is. And that is Pyro. As far as I'm aware, nothing has changed since I learnt about that a couple of months ago. The only heroes which I would put on the sideline here, and I'm not actually going to include in the list because I don't know much about them. I should do, but I don't know enough about them to really put them in lists yet, which is Shooting Star and Nightmare Morpho. I don't know if they could go into this list or not. I haven't heard any of them being crazy damage, but I could be wrong, could be right, don't know. So I'm going to avoid putting them in the list for now. But so #1 on my list is Pyro. She is a beast whenever it comes to dealing damage. Her active skill fires a dart towards a target location, dealing 120% attack damage in its path. The dart will stay at the target location for 5 seconds before exploding, dealing 130% attack damage in an area, and it has a 15% chance to prevent enemy heroes hit from performing normal attacks for 3 seconds. That is only level 1, so it gets a lot better than that. The aid skill we're not going to cover. Divine, unleash the light of judgment upon the nearest enemy hero for 12 seconds. Judgment light deals 250% attack damage to all enemies in an area. So that is of course one of the 3 key factors. Attack is a massive amount as well. So that is big damage. And it's to all enemies within an area, so it's got a radius as well, which is very good. And has a 30% chance to prevent enemies from recovering HP when they heal, which will help you in battle a lot. 20% of healing prevented is dealt as damage, so you're able to take the healing and turn it into damage, which equals even more damage. Capped at 50% of Pyro's attack, so decent amount. Judgment light cannot be dispelled or transferred. If Fortitude we won't cover, but it says Pyro deals 10% additional damage to enemy heroes, so it's more damage. Her insight, Eternal Judge. Pyro splits into 2 spirits upon death. Each spirit has, yeah, we're not going to cover that, but she is very good, yeah. Crazy damage dealer. So that's Pyro for you. You can even see her average attack. I wouldn't actually say it's that good compared to a lot of heroes, really. It's decent, it is good. But it's like, I think it's her skills and her divine, that's what when it really comes in. She is an amazing damage dealer. Like, usually you got your tank, which would be Penthesilea, and then you want a crazy damage dealer to do some serious damage. That's Pyro. But talking about Penthesilea, I'm going to put her second on my list. I'm not sure. These next ones could be in any order really, but I'm going to do it by importance because I think Penthesilea is more useful overall. So now let's cover Penthesilea. So she is a tank, of course. If you don't know what a tank is, it's basically a hero which can take lots of damage without dying, yeah? Like, usually when you think of a tank, you think of something as in a large vehicle, yeah? Indestructible large vehicle. But you can't take that meaning and apply it to heroes. So active skill is Sacred Javelins. Hurls 5 javelins at random enemy heroes, each dealing 80% attack damage and reducing their damage by 5% for 8 seconds. Penthesilea then heals herself with 5% HP and ignores 5% of all damage taken. So she's kind of in the middle really with it, yeah. I'm not going to cover too much. Her Divine is the big damage part really. She goes right into stuff and destroys it, yeah. So she's really good for damaging that. Her Insight is very good for blocking. But I don't know, overall, Penthesilea is just such a strong hero that she can be good on attack as well. You can see the signs there, can't you? So now I'm going to go on to Chrono Keeper, as Chrono Keeper is just a beast in everything, so I'll be covering Chrono Keeper. His active skill, blast the area with the most enemy heroes, dealing 120% attack damage. So it's got a big radius, which is great because if you got a big radius you can get more enemy targets within the same area, meaning that you're dealing more damage. Dealing 120% attack damage, which means it's high. For 5 seconds, damage of enemy heroes hit is reduced by 5%, and attack damage of affected enemy flying heroes is reduced by an additional 5%, which is very nice. Also, it's dealing 1% attack damage, so very good on that. I'm not going to go for Zaid Divine. You can see his Divine just deals such good damage, really good, really powerful, yeah. And his Insight can deal some decent damage as well. So overall, Chrono Keeper is a very good hero. Everyone knows it, it's always been. I know I said I'm not going to cover any of the new heroes. Shooting Star and Nightmare Morpho. I think they're both alright on attack, but I don't think they're amazing. I get a feeling that Shooting Star may be a lot better than Nightmare Morpho on attack. Could be wrong, I don't know enough about them. But definitely do look at them heroes. If you're wondering, all the new heroes do it. What about Chaos Ember and Arachne? Nah, no. OpsterGaming now. Exafan is an argumentative one for myself really. Kind of don't really want to include it on the list, but I'm gonna anyway. I'm not going to put a number on this hero because it is one where I'm going. It's a good hero for damage, but it's dependent on levels, enlightenment levels, masteries, a lot of it. Whenever a hero is so dependent on them to be able to be good at damage, I don't technically want to include them on the list because it means that it needs other improvements to make it good at that. But I'm just going to tell you, Exafan can be very good for damage if you make the adjustments needed. So now, what other heroes? Oh yeah, sorry, Storm Rider would be my number 3 after Penthesilea, yeah. Very good hero for damage. He is pretty much your damage hero, yeah. His active skill is Cyclone. He engulfs 2 enemy heroes in cyclones, each dealing 10% attack damage per second in an area, and decreases their attack hit rate, skill damage and speed by 5%, 10% and 1% respectively for 10 seconds. Cyclones cannot be dispelled, also increases the speed of allied flying units by 10%, damage and attack rate by 2%, and damage reduction by 5% for 10 seconds. So that's only at level 1, but very good already, yeah. Aid not going to cover. His Divine, as we know, he can summon in a random epic hero. If you're very lucky, you'll summon in Ephoragre. They are very good for damage reduction, a lot of it, yeah. You can say they're great because it's basically an extra hero on the battlefield. So say you summon in Ephoragre, you're going to get some really good damage from that. Now the Fortitude, not really going to cover it. Insight just improves the other hero that you bring in, which means he's a very good damage dealer as a hero, but you can also bring in another hero who potentially could be a crazy damage dealer if you're lucky. So very good hero when it comes to damage. And I know I said without adjustments, but that's not adjustments because that's skills which are already on the hero, which means it does technically count as damage. So very good for that. Now the other hero that I'm going to cover is Wolverine Fiend. Wolverine Fiend has 2 sides to him. He can be really good at staying alive, or he can be seriously good at dealing damage. His active skill is Metamorphosis, or Metamorphosis. Yeah. And changes between human and werewolf forms. His human form taunts surrounding enemies once every 15 seconds. Increases his damage reduction by 20%, cannot be dispelled. And reduces skill damage taken by 20%, 15% chance to... Okay, re-say that. And reduces skill damage taken by 20%. 15% chance to recover 10% of damage taken as HP, which is good. Also increases damage reduction of all surrounding allied units. So that, the human form is the health part, where he stays alive. Werewolf form is your damage form, yeah? This is the form where he does crazy good damage. But he dies a lot easier. So, increases damage by 25%, straight up got it, cannot be dispelled. Attack rate by 3%, which means that he's going to hit quicker. So it increases your speed. So if you go by the list of 3 that I gave you, you got the attack damage itself, crit rate and speed. Well, there you've got the damage itself is increased by 25%. Your attack rate is increased by 3%, which is the speed, so that's the third one. Speed by 15%, so attack rate is how quickly you're attacking, and speed is how fast you're attacking. Yeah, I know it doesn't really make sense too much, but you get me. So you definitely got the speed down. After every 10th attack, Wolverine Fiend deals 50% attack damage to surrounding enemies, and inflicts bleeding for 5 seconds, and that would be your crit rate. So this is the first hero so far that we've seen which has all 3 of the main key factors. It's got your attack plus 25%, your speed 3% and 15%, and your crit rate being he deals damage to all surrounding enemies and inflicts bleeding for 5 seconds. Bleeding deals 500 damage every 0.5 seconds. So that is a lot of damage. So a lot of people say Wolverine Fiend isn't a very good hero anymore. He is a very good hero. That's the reason why he's still very hard to maximize him. He's still a very good hero, he is. And that is just his active skill. Now, I'm not going to read human form again, yeah, but for the damage part and the divine, bestial instincts. Werewolf form, he deals 250% attack damage to all surrounding enemies and knocks them away. So that is your, I'd say, crit rate. Before teleporting to the enemy hero with the lowest HP, Wolverine Fiend will inflict stun on the target and relentlessly attack it for 8 seconds. So that's your attack, your crit rate. While Bestial Instincts is active, the Wolverine Fiend gains taunt immunity and his attack leech 50% damage as HP. So also got a massive HP part as well. So that really is actually very good. Now his insight is Inner Beast. Increases damage of all allied heroes by 3% every time Wolverine Fiend uses Metamorphosis. So he can even increase the damage of your allied heroes as well. It's the human form, that's heal. His Wolverine Fiend werewolf form is Purple 0.25 rage after Wolverine Fiend uses it. So he's a very good hero, yeah guys. Yeah, man. So he is a very good hero. I would say so far, Wolverine Fiend, if you go by the stats, he has been the best damage dealer out of a lot. But I still think Pyro beats him. Maybe you want to put him number 2, yeah? But whenever I mention the other ones like Stormlight and Pencil before him, you're going to remember that it's because they have more than one use. You can see he's either just really hardcore health to stay alive or really hardcore attack to deal crazy damage. He ain't going to be able to cover more aspects. Like Stormlight who brings in other heroes. Pencilia can be really good in certain game modes, so good look at the specifics as well whenever you do it. I could cover some more, but I'm not going to really cover that many more now. These are just be bonus heroes. So Wrath's decent, Toxic Shaman's decent, Arcane Caster I think is actually quite a good damage dealer. Enchantments is not. I'm just going through here just to make sure I don't miss any. Nah. So that'll be it for now then. I hope that this has helped some of you guys to know what heroes will be very good damage dealers. I will now do one little list at the end on my overall roundup on what heroes you should be looking for. Now, if you need a damage dealer and you're paid to play, do research into Nightmare, Morpho and Shooter Star. First thing you do, yeah, research into them, find out are they good at dealing damage. Yeah, if they're really good at that, then do them. But if it turns out they're not, then I would look at getting Pyro most definitely enlightened. So max enlightened if you pay to play, of course, to do some crazy damage. I would look at Exafan, and I would look at getting a Wolverine Fiend max enlightened, yeah, because he's just such a useful hero. The thing is, I know pay to play say he's not very good anymore, but he's a useful hero just to have on the sideline even, yeah. There you go, okay, I can't beat this guy, let's put a Wolverine in, yeah. He's just a useful hero to have. Free to play players, the majority of people. What heroes do you guys want to be looking at for crazy damage dealers, as you can't get them max enlightened heroes? Well, number one, you want to try and get Pyro, yeah? That's an obvious one. Your other one is Pencilia, and your third one would be Storm Rider. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this was helpful to you. Make sure to like, subscribe, and definitely hit that bell icon for more Clash Royale 2 content. For now, peace out.